What if your home was a fortress, not a playground? Imagine growing up where laughter echoed off cold stone walls and bedtime stories were whispered beside flickering torches, because outside, war never slept. This isn't the world of fairy tales. This is the real story of medieval castle kids, children who were born to power, but raised in shadows. In the Middle Ages, a castle wasn't just a home. It was a fortress, a school, and a cage. Children of lords and ladies were born into duty. From the moment they could walk, their lives were scripted by expectations. Every smile, every step, every friendship was a lesson in control. Their childhood wasn't about joy, it was about preparation. Boys were trained not to play, but to fight. Wooden swords clashing in the courtyard replaced games of tag. Girls, often just as young, learned how to manage households and represent their families with perfect grace. Smiles were polite, words were careful, and mistakes? They weren't forgiven easily. Despite the wealth and power, many castle children were desperately lonely. Parents were often away at war or court. Affection was rare, replaced by formality and distance. Imagine being 10 years old and realizing your closest friend was your servant, and even they could be punished for getting too close. Growing up in a fortress meant growing up surrounded by fear. Enemy attacks weren't rare, and when danger came, even children were taught where to hide or how to serve in emergencies. The castle might protect them, but it also reminded them daily, safety was fragile. But it wasn't all darkness. Between lessons and rules, children still found ways to dream. They raced in corridors when no one watched, played with pets in the courtyard, and whispered stories of dragons and knights by the fire. For a few stolen moments, they were just children. As they grew older, childhood disappeared quickly. At 12, boys could be sent to train as squires. Girls were promised in marriage. Every dream was weighed against family honor, every choice watched. The castle that had once been their home became their destiny. Growing up in a medieval castle wasn't a fairy tale, it was survival within privilege. Behind every tapestry, every armored knight, were children who carried the weight of legacy too soon. Stone walls protected their bodies, but often imprisoned their hearts. So next time you see a castle, remember, its walls don't just tell stories of kings and wars. They whisper the forgotten voices of children who grew up in stone and shadows.